fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome in. Today, we're gonna do like we normally do, right? It's the end of June. We're gonna break down and grade this month and get your opinions. And I'll be honest, in a lot of ways, I feel like there's a lot of failures, and then there's other things I thought were good that maybe got overshadowed by some of the other stuff that was happening. And I wanna kind of go over a lot of that today, clearly, and discuss it. Now, I will say I need your help. And obviously this video is coming out a little bit later in the day. I think it's about 2 o'clock by the time this gets posted, maybe 2:30 Central Time. And that's just because obviously all the stuff going on at home. So quick update, kids are healthy, kids are in the house. I'm being full-time caregiver, full-time dad, full-time worker. So it's a lot going on, but the good news is wife is getting better. Did come through surgery fine. So thank you for all the well wishes again. I promise we'll get all everything sorted here in the next couple weeks. Things will hopefully, kind of even back out. But if you don't remember, we do need to get this right there, this in this video shared out as much as possible in the next 24 hours. Stay of the Game is coming a little bit early this month. So it's tomorrow night on Major Samo stream with myself, Major Samo, and then she's gonna be the host as we bring in game design and community with Mr. Tiger and Obsidian Hamster. So if you wanna make sure that we can use enough of these results, y'all need to get as much of that pushed out as possible. The link to this will be in the comment section down below, as well as in the description of this video. So if you're looking for how to participate and do the survey, do it down below, and please share it out with your alliance and everybody. We want you, whether you're level 20 or level 70, participating in this bad boy. So let's go ahead and start how we do it. If you're not familiar, I'm going to kind of just give generic ideas and answers, and then I'll give specifics later on. There are some slight changes to the format. Again, the main format stays the same, but there's like subsections that we will mess with and manipulate a little bit. So again, generic answer, we'll just cover the officers and I'll give my opinion towards the end. So if you're waiting for my opinion, skip to about 8-9 minutes in the video. So officers this month had only 2 of them. Neither had any form of real sourcing besides money. And when I say any real sourcing, I mean literally no sourcing. You got a few shards from the battle pass, but this is the new PvP meta. So you have Mirror Picard. I procured him through the SLB. Took me both SLBs to get Mirror Picard, and then you got Mirror Data. And these can effectively take down the Harold Freeman crew. It really comes down to how much you personally value PvP in this game. I'm actually going to save a lot of my thoughts for this for later in terms of my grading, because I'll go more in depth in that. The biggest points I can say is PvP does not apply to everybody in the game, but if you did acquire them, obviously they're going to be quite effective. And I do love the art and the comic that they're coming from. Good comic series if you haven't read it. So let me know what y'all think. And again, these are the easy ones to put on the grade. But I'm just gonna kind of fly through officers. I feel like I'll talk about them a lot towards the end of this video. And we have to cover the features, which is kind of in depth to an extent. Not that, like when I say in depth, it's not that like we are confused about what happened and came. It's just, it was so much. And I think that's going to really play into how a lot of people view this month. So let's, number one, move this off the screen real quick. And let's quickly go over all the different things added into the game in features. We're going to start with the officer screen with the quality of life update, which I do think is good. And you'll see that in the survey here in just a second. But I love this addition. This has got overshadowed by the vastness of the mirror universe and mirror space. But in terms of like actual improvements to the game, in my opinion, this is a great start. I've actually already worked and talked with game design about different things that could, be added to this to improve it. But I do think that this was a fantastic feature to get added in to make lives better. And hopefully more of those things are coming. Again, stay tuned to State of the Game to hear some of that stuff. But main things that were added, Mirror Universe, where we have Mirror Common Space here and Mirror Uncommon Space. Part of this also came with its own refinery. You can find here in the Mirror Universe refinery. Right here, lots of different things between the research tree, which we'll talk about in a second, as well as officer sourcing for the NX-01 crew. Then you have forbidden tech improvement sourcing, resources, which I don't really think this one matters as much, and then a holodeck advancement. And then, like I just mentioned, there is a research tree. So I'll hop into that real quick. And I will tell you that the research tree has a lot of good in it. I, like many of you, have already started working on it. Working on the mirror loot is probably the #1 priority, as well as your mirror refinery. And then I'm working on the bottom path as well. I'm kind of doing a little bit of a mixed bag, Should I probably be going all into the common mirror hostile loot first? Probably, but I'm doing a little bit of a mix just so that I can experience it and see it and then give y'all feedback on it. But I'm kind of working on the bottom rung. As you can see, my normal theme that y'all always hear me harping on: efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. That and some of the top stuff is not really for me. I mean, I don't really need uncommon G6 ship repair efficiency. Not for a long time. So I'm going with the bottom rung here on some of these. But this is a lot of content. It is a lot of stuff. So y'all kind of have to grade that as you will. And again, I'm going to put generic grades in the beginning. I'll give you my thoughts here, but we did add, so this is overall features. So whether you're level 20 or level 60 or 70 or whatever, tell how the features work for you. Because like if you're level 30, you didn't get any of the mirror stuff, but you still got the quality of life update of the officer thing. So maybe you liked that feature. And then you can be more specific here with mirror space, mirror refinery, the research tree, the officer sorting, QL update. Oh, and let's not forget Apex barrier, which by the way affects everybody technically. So you have a lot that got added in this month. So moving on to the next one, we've got the calendar. So the calendar, again, kind of like a mixed bag. Y'all can kind of grade it as you will. I will say one good thing that happened that maybe not everybody noticed was that as the heroic called Quantum Syndicate event was going on, they did adjust the first milestone based on feedback, based on content creators, players, etc. Really going at that, hey, this needs to be something that's done. Did see that first milestone get lowered just a poquito amount, and hopefully we can see stuff like that happening again in the future. But beyond that, just give your thoughts on the calendar. Moving into communication, again, do you think they communicated well? They're using mostly Discord and in-game news, which I think is good. There's still ways that I believe that they can grow in that, but I want to know your thoughts. Definitely want you to leave any comments that you have. And then finally, last but not least, stability. Now, I will say for me personally, again, I'll give you my grade, except for the next few seconds, I'll give my grade. Personally on stability, it's been very good for a few months. The only thing that y'all really ever see me struggle with is, actually don't have my phone handy, but it actually is on the PC client. You'll see a little bit of memory leak where the pink squares will come up and stuff. You got to reboot and then you're fine. That does happen every now and then. And obviously I don't want stuff like that to ever happen. As just a guy who plays a lot of video games, I've been playing video games as a career now for, 5 years. I can't say that that's like uncommon. I mean, heck, it happens to War Thunder, which is a lot bigger game than STFC. It's, Ark Survival is known for being buggy as heck. I mean, so those type of things, those minor type of bugs definitely can happen, but major things definitely happen to players. Some people have major issues with wave defenses. Some people have major issues in other areas like the zoom bug for Android, and make sure that you comment those if they're there right down here. Thankfully, it seems to be better for most, but it doesn't speak for all. So make sure if you are having issues to list those and grade by that. And then do you feel this month was more quality than quantity? You can vote on that yourself. I'm just going to hit a button. So that is the completion of the survey. Now let me give you mine. So I told you I'm gonna be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing in terms of my grade. Usually if an officer is what I would call a must-have, I will look over to an extent lack of sourcing. But this might shock y'all. Even though I am a player that y'all see go out enjoying things like PvP, OPC hunting, all these different things, I don't feel like these are must-have officers. Why? Because PvP is not a must-do thing in this game. Now here's me literally with the officers. I mean, ignore the ship. I have a slot specifically for PvP. But is it must have? Does it change your game? I mean, yeah, you can PvP better, but you're going to have one particular issue. These are so expensive to upgrade, literally financially, and so impossible to obtain without money that there's no reason to give it anything better than, in my opinion, maybe a C. I'm giving it a D. But the reason I don't give it an F is based on what the grading rubric is. Why would anyone want these officers? Well, the reason why is obvious, because they're the new PvP meta. But the problem is the meta's been reset in less than a year consistently. It was only 8 months that Carol Freeman came out after the strike team officers, which reset the original meta, which was literally a slew of different officers that could be used in PvP, whether it be Perk, Spock, 5 of 11, Marcus, Charvenix, Kang. I mean, all these different things that existed at the time all became, okay, specifically this crew. And that's just kind of the format going forward. So the reason I am not like, hey, you guys have to have this, because I don't really believe, based on precedent, that these are going to be that valid for more than 6 to 8 months. Now, if Scopely was to come out and say, hey, this is the PvP run that we're doing for 2 years, okay, maybe. But I don't believe that. So I'm going to give it a bad grade because there's no sourcing besides money. The upgrade cost is insane. Like literally this month, if you wanted to upgrade him, if you bought his shards, you then had to find other ways to procure Liquid Trillium D. It was several $1,000s. Obviously, that's not going to be the case forever, but that was just redonk to me. So D, which means no officer is a must-have, but would be nice to have eventually. And I agree with that statement. Add them into the Section 31 store with all the other PvP officers, and there you go. But that's my opinion on the officers. I probably didn't expect that, but again, PvP is not a must part of this game. It's not. Even though I love it, it's not what you have to do every day to play. All right, feature grading. This is where we're going to get kind of squirrely for everybody. I'm going to give it a C. I'm going to tell you why. Mirror space is exactly what I said it was going to be. It is a huge pain point early on. I do think long term it'll be good. As of now, I'd say mirror space is D content. I don't like doing it. I don't look forward to doing it. But as things get better, especially as the game removes time gates in other areas, I don't think the mirror universe will be seen as a negative in 6 months from now. Just like when DS9 first rolled out, it was not near as good and profitable as it is now. It had to be adjusted. I think that'll happen, but do I think the refinery, the mirror refinery, is good? Yeah, it's actually a pretty good refinery. Not the best in the game, but it is good. And the research tree is A+. Love the research tree. It's just having to go through the mirror universe to do it is very... I think that's the best way I can describe it. It's a heavy sigh. Officer quality of life update was A+. Loved that apex barrier. I'm not a huge fan of. Yeah, I get how it works. I understand the math. It's just more power creep. It's more meh. It's cool. Yeah, I mean, if you get it, you get it. But am I like excited about it? No. All right. Next up on my grades is the event calendar, which I think was solid, not great. We definitely didn't have like the 9 heroics all at once, just spam in your face. I don't appreciate renaming things quantum and confusing players and not being, as obvious as I believe we should be or transparent as we should be with what officers and what things are requirable and are not. But I do like a lot of the events that came this month. I did enjoy a lot of the events. In fact, the events that weren't mirror universe were well put together. And what I mean by that is there was things for me to do when I didn't feel like trying to grind out all the mirror universe quantum events. And I appreciated that. There were plenty of things that I chose to just simply not do. I appreciate the Arc Runner giving me things to do that weren't just mirror, 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 even though there were mirror, mirror events. There are plenty of you out there who can't resist doing every event that exists. I can, and I'm glad that there was a full calendar that let me do that. And then grading communication, I think it's still a B. It's solid, still things I want them to improve on, but we'll keep going. Finally, last but not least, stability. For me this month, I'm going to give it a C. I mean, I don't really feel like it necessarily got worse, but again, this is anecdotal because I don't write it down. I don't remember there being a ton, but I definitely know enough of the pink screens and stuff that it annoyed me. I'll give it a C, but I didn't have any main horrible crashes. Do I think this month was more quality than quantity? It literally is the definition of quantity, so I can't say that. But do I think that it can become quality? Yes, Scopely, it can. This is made to be long-term content. It absolutely can be quality. Let's just see if they do it. So for now, there you go. There are my thoughts, my grades. Let me know yours down below. Please help share this out as quickly as possible. Definitely call to action here. Need your help. Need people to follow the channel. Spread the word out. Appreciate every single one of you. Live long and plunder. Stay safe, other Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. Catch you on the next one. And yeah, wrapping it up.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.